Hey there, how's it going? Today we are unboxing probably one of the more talked about AliExpress reels of 2022. This is the budget version of the Kestrel Elite. This is the Valiant Eagle. Look at that. Look at that bubble wrap. Ooh! That's a pretty nice little pocket that was made there. Okay, what do we got in here? There we go. Look at that. Ooh. I know, it's just a box. But let's see what we got in here. It says category CST, affordable innovation. I think that is like, that's probably that's like a great slogan for Kastking. Now I gotta say, I haven't owned a Kastking reel yet. The first one that I was familiar with on Bait Finesse was the Zephyr, and it just didn't seem like it had sort of the reviews of what maybe the Dark Wolf Ultra had, and then I went right into the Daiwas and the Shimano's. So, let's see. Ooh, looky there. That's actually like a really nice visual. I mean, it's not quite Apple unboxing, and the foam moved a little bit. I think the handle moved a little bit, but I got a nice little foam piece there to hold it in place. What else we got in the box? Kastking sticker. Little stickers to tell you what kind of line you have on there. That's actually a nice touch that I haven't seen in any of the budget reels. And then sort of instructions and stuff. Put that back underneath there. Okay, so, ooh, you know, this is really light. And I don't remember noticing this, but it's got the nice little red accents here. You know, this feels pretty smooth. Drag clicker is very subtle. So it's not that louder type of drag clicker that you're... Ooh, you know what though? The spool tension has a really nice click. Sort of surprising, actually. Same with the brakes. Listen to this. Ooh, that is nice. So that's on min. This is on max. Let's see how easy this thing is. Well, this is a really small side door here too. I tell you what, this spool is a part of how they save the weight, right? This spool is tiny. It is a spring-loaded braking system of some sort here. I tell you what, very, very, very lightweight. You know, the specs on this were, I think it's 7 ball bearings, and it's got an 8.4 gear ratio. It says it'll hold 150 meters. 150 meters of 0.8 PE braid. I can't see that as being possible. Ooh. So this has a very, like, the feeling is very positive, right? It's very solid. It feels like you can even see there. Like, the spring is pretty good. I have to really, you can feel it a little bit. It's almost like it gives a little bit, and so you can sort of get ready and then, you know, push it down. It's not an all or nothing type situation. I think that's going to feel really nice. It's hard to know for sure, but this feels really smooth. There's not really much, there's a little bit there, a little bit of geariness to it, but not bad. You know, a lot of these colors, when I get them, they look better in person than what I thought they were going to. Put a little bit of extra light on that. It's actually, I mean, it's still got a little bit of a pinkish rose to it. I think it'll look good on the rod. It'll look decent on the rod that I'm going to put it on. But it feels really nice. You know, the handles, the little knobs, they have a little, they're tacky. They have just a little bit of a softness to them. Where do I don't have the brakes on minimum. I tell you what though, it's not as free spinning as I would have thought. Brakes are on min. I mean, it definitely stops a lot faster with the brakes on max. But yeah, I would have expected it to sort of run a little more. Let's pull this back off here. See what the bearings look like. I mean, there's not a lot of grease on there either. So I'm sort of surprised how much play there feels like there is there. But it feels like they almost have like a proper BFS oil on there, and instead of a, you know, the typical grease that's packed in. Tell you what, it does fit together. You know how most reels have the thing where you have to slide them apart. This one, and that's probably part of how they kept the design maybe a little smaller. But it just basically just sits right back in place, and then you lock it down. I mean, it's a small reel. Not that this is a great comparison, but this is the YLT tank compared to the Kastking. It does, I mean, it really does have some Aldebaran vibes, which may not be a bad thing. Now, as I understand it with the Valiant Eagle 2, and also with the Kestrel Elite, a lot of people say that they're overbraked. For me, I don't know that that's necessarily going to be a bad thing. We'll find out. I do know that there are some people who have done some modifications to some of the braking systems to free them up a little bit. But I'm not a great caster, and so a lot of my videos, I'm not using my thumb hardly at all. So, you know, if I can cast 2.5 grams and up, you know, without having to rely on my thumb too much with this, it could be a great reel. By all means, I still consider myself a beginner when it comes to bait casting, for sure, but even just bait finesse. You know, and that's why I don't get into like the specs and doing a lot of the other stuff, because there are guys who know that stuff and live and breathe that stuff. I mean, there are just so many other people who, they want to get into the specs. They want to geek out on that stuff. For me, I want something that feels good. I want something that helps me catch fish. And the goal is to find the right reels, to do the right jobs, sort of to fill a certain niche, but then just sort of let them disappear. It should become second nature. What I'll say about this so far is there is nothing about this that makes me sort of feel like, oh, this is going to be a pain. You know, I love one of the things that on the Aldebaran is a good example. I feel like I end up catching that brake adjustment sometimes. This adjustment is loud enough that you're going to hear it. And second, it's actually, I can feel it a little bit, but it's recessed, and so it's not something where you're just going to run your thumb across it and it's going to turn. You have to actually turn it. And I also really appreciate the the clicker on the spool adjustment, and it feels like they're very small adjustments compared to a lot of other reels. It'll be fun to dial this one in. First impressions on the Kastking Valiant Eagle 2. This looks good. This looks like it could be a lot of fun. And I picked it up for, I think, like $55 on the 11/11 sale. It's part of why I got it. It was just so darn cheap. Even at the regular price, it was still a good deal. It's just that was a really big sale. Stay on the lookout for this for me to get some on the water reviews soon. Wintertime's coming, so it'll be trout most likely. And that's a little bit of a risk with this. Actually, I'll probably take this out and do some Ned rigs and some cold water winter bass fishing, because I don't expect to use this for trout fishing much. I really expect this to be a little bit more of a bass and an all-purpose reel. You know, if you want to see this one in person, if you want to get some hands-on, we're having a bait finesse retreat in March. This one will be there along with the Kestrel, and I think I'm bringing 7 or 8 other reels with me. Check out this video to learn more. And with that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.